Welcome everyone to Totally Whiskey and Wine. I'm your host Jason, and with me as always is James, our intermediate, and Zach, our industry professional. And tonight we are reviewing the Calon Segur 2016 Bordeaux, a beautiful red wine.
I think you have the bottle too if you want to hold it up.
Actually, yes, I do have the bottle. Ta-da-da, which is actually already shown in the picture, but we are going to go right to our rating for it. $82. That's right. We rated this an 82 overall. So that's actually one of our highest scores we've given. But how did we come about that? So we rate on 4 categories. We go by nose, mouthfeel, flavor, and then finally the finish. So what happens is each one of us blindly, separate from each other, will test the wine, give it a rating on nose from 1 to 25, same on mouthfeel, flavor, and finish, add those up to get our total, and then we'll add them together and average everything out so that we get our final score. So, speaking of, how do we get the individual scores? So, nose, let's look at what we did. I went ahead and gave it for a nose a 17. Okay, a little lower than some of the other things, that we've done in the past, but it was still, I thought it was good. Again, I'm not the best at this, but I kind of got some notes of like some maybe moss or earth or kind of grass, like an earthen scent, as well as I couldn't pinpoint a fruit, but there was like a fruity sweetness to it, like like the sugars in a fruit, a peach, a pear, or something like that, where you can get that little bit of that. So that's what I got, and it got a 17 for me for that.
Nose for me was a 19. I follow you a little bit in that I gave that word forest. Kind of a foresty sort of smell. I also get a light, musty's hard, but I have to give it a word, so like a light musty sort of a smell. Okay. And it's just this last, as I'm coming on, this has been open now a couple hours. We gave this proper time.
It took a long time to open up.
Yeah, this is a couple hours in the decanter, and I'm getting a tiny little hint of cinnamon. A little hint of cinnamon on my nose.
Okay,
took me a bit there.
It's interesting that you said that.
But right at the top, tiny bit of cinnamon. So that was a 19 on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
So, proud of you, James, for pulling out some kind of musty smell. This wine does take a while to open. These very heavy tannic wines do take a while, but I gave it a 22 on the nose, with notes of blackberry, cassis, vanilla, mineral, and hay.
Oh, there's the mustiness.
That's the mustiness. This is something that, quite frankly, will pull your attention away from other things. So if you have a very savory dish in front of you, like a steak, as you should have with this, any kind of red meat, this is going to immediately be able to reset your sensory glands in your nose to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. I have all this stuff going on. So when you go back to the steak, it's even more enhanced. That's how these wines are meant to operate. They're fine wines meant for long-term aging. In reality, this wine could have been aged for another decade easily and would have been fine to open. Probably wouldn't have been better, but I don't know if this podcast will be running in 10 years. So you let me know, Jason.
We'll find out.
We may have to revisit this in 10
My
years.
open mouth draw still gives me a little bit of like a cinnamony, the smell that I get off of like ground cinnamon. It's just a little bit there. My mind goes to that on one of them. Not that it tastes anything like that, but it's interesting.
Well,
mouthfeel.
Yes. Moving on to mouthfeel.
Ooh.
So for mouthfeel, to me, I like a dry wine. It had that dry aspect to it without being like Sahara Desert, suck all the moisture from your mouth. But it had that dryness that I like to it. So just enough that it's like, okay, you're not just downing a bottle of water. You're actually drinking something that someone put effort into. But I just.
What was your number? You gave it a
19? Oh, I'm not going to let you know. No. I gave it a 19.
19? I gave it a 20. I follow you sort of that with, it's very smooth. The mouth is very smooth. It's very even everywhere. I get that acidic hit. It's kind of like an acidic dry hit. Beyond that, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. That's what it's supposed to be. So, 20.
So I gave this a mouthfeel of 23 with notes of firm, dark, lengthy tannins. This is something that's going to be able to run the course of a meal. It's going to be able to dominate most things you put in front of it. Therefore, you need something meaty. So,
Meat.
meaty is another mouthfeel here. It's
Yeah.
very meaty. It's gamey. It's something you can literally chew on in the mouth. Not that there's crunchiness in the one. And then it has very good, not too acidic, moderate acidity is the note I gave it there. So it's something that will break down the amino acids in a gamey meat or in a steak or something like that. Again, put this in front of a steak.
Yeah, the color is amazing.
Oh yeah.
This clings to the glass. There's a lot in there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, even the legs on this, you can see just
You can bring the
how
color
they're
to
running.
how thick it is.
Oh yeah.
Spacing is perfect. Lots of good young alcohol running through quickly, but then you see the heavy meniscus working its way down.
Mm-hmm.
But past the mouth, Jason, what'd you think of the flavor?
That's a great question. So for the flavor, it's interesting you said cinnamon on the nose because as soon as you said that, it clicked for me because I could not put words to what I was tasting. But I actually, now when you said cinnamon, I actually get a little bit of cinnamon. Like it's maybe not cinnamon, but it's a spice. Just a hair.
Like the stick of cinnamon, or like
Yeah, no, like a stick.
ground cinnamon before you shake it onto something,
no,
or
like
the
the
stick.
like the stick.
The stick. I think more seasonal when I think of that. I don't get that. I gave it a 21 on the
Yeah.
flavor.
I gave it an 18.
You gave it an 18. I gave it a 21. I give it. It's strong tart, like a tart cherry, tart grape, red grape.
Okay, yeah.
On the flavoring. It's pleasurable, but I don't. It's not cinnamon.
To me, it has that though.
Even
I mean, I'm just weird though.
Even was no, it hits a nice little tart balancing flavor. This is absolutely. We've all been sitting here, and quietly in the background, we're like trying to order dinner because we're thinking this is just going to stack great with the rest of this bottle.
Oh, yeah.
On some steaks,
Mhm.
and that might just be the way we finish off this evening for dinner. This is just it's an awesome glass. So 21 on the taste, on the flavor there.
So for flavor, I went ahead and gave it a 23 once again. So with this particular bottle of wine flavors, you hit it right on the nose with the dark cherry. That pulls through very much so, in addition to all of the blackberry notes. I also got a little bit of fig in here. This is very much reaching for those potentially sweet fruits, and you find that with the sugar content that's left over in this wine.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that with the acidity just very much is working very well in our favor.
None of it's artificial. It all seems
No.
natural flavors. The flavoring is very natural tasting.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, artificial is a word for it, but it's the when we say that, like when we were
Earthy,
tasting,
natural,
when we were
earthy.
tasting other things, and we were like, not to
Artificial.
mention any names, but definitely artificial. I even would call it, not as that it tasted that way, but just as a descriptive term, plastic. It's fake. This is not that.
There's a ton. Look at the glass. The
I know.
glasses. My glass is like purple.
It leaves your glass filthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is a fun thing with these heavy tannic wines. Your lips, if you pay attention, you look in the mirror, there's
you're
gonna be a
right.
nice heavy purple.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like you wore lipstick to
There's
sex.
just
Oh, yeah.
a lot in this.
That's what happens to me. I get I call it the wine mom because
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I'll
who
drink
needs
I'll drink a
lipstick
red,
whenever you can drink quality
I'll
wine?
drink a red like this all the time, and I'm just
Well, sorry, it's not to live up to the stereotype, but wine moms drink Chardonnay.
yeah.
Jason.
Well, I'm sorry, but I drink the red.
All right, so everybody gave their.
Whenever we gave our flavor, let's move on to the finish.
All right, where you at?
We're actually going to go backwards again. We've done this in the past. Zach, I want to start with you on the finish.
So for me, the finish, I gave it a 21. Long, lingering acidity and general cleanliness, and the wine brings a holistic experience to come alongside the sweet fruit that comes forward with this. This is something that quite frankly, demands food. We're not giving it the justice it deserves at the moment with just having it rest in the glass.
Steaks are on the way, man.
Steaks are on the way.
And we had to do it.
Hell yeah, DoorDash.
There's a half a glass. There's more than a half a glass here to finish on this thing.
I had a
Well, no,
bottle.
I'm sorry. The decanter's got. Yeah, we've got three
We
more.
were up
pours.
to here, so we don't have much to refill glasses. But
We can get on to
We're
that.
gonna have to. I'm gonna have to save this then.
no, this is certainly something I wouldn't say has to be in your collection, but if you were in a liquor store and you saw this in their nice case, honestly, I would say pick it up. This is
Yeah, this is
fucking
VIP
phenomenal.
steak dinner wine right
You know
here.
what? But and
If you're going to your Michelin star or your triple diamond, this is it.
before we continue on with finish, what was the price point on this?
$250.
Okay, so it's a little bit up there.
Yeah, it's not the most expensive bottle of wine in the world, especially comparing year to year.
Yeah,
But,
it's not the
before I
If you
continue
have the time to
on
buy
with
one and leave it sit
why
and wait.
that price is where it is, go ahead and finish.
Yeah,
So I came in, so my finish on this was a 20. I gave it, the word is lasting, even. A nice sides of the tongue coverage.
Yes.
The coverage was really even over the sides of my tongue, all my mouth, but just the sides of my tongue really held that flavor. That's the words I gave it.
and that's the
It
words
lasted.
I couldn't think. It just felt good, but that
Yeah, it's not
Lasting,
top of the mouth, it's not front of the
no.
tongue. It's nice, even down the sides of my tongue for the palate. It's nice and even too. It's even coated.
even is
It's a
the
nice-
word I couldn't come up with,
Yeah.
but you hit it for me. I feel the same way. I give it a 22 because I liked the way it finished. It was nice, even. That's the
I'm a
best way to
whiskey
put it.
guy. This is a wine. This is an awesome wine.
Yeah, this is really good. So
So let's
that's
go
that. So let's
to
move on to what you were saying there.
So in terms of justification on price, or just generally information about the wine in general, so when you're examining fine Bordeaux, quite frankly, most things that are going to demand a higher price tag are of the left bank. For those of you who don't know, there are two banks to Bordeaux. You have the left bank, which goes against the river, the right bank, which starts as the same river, splits into a second river, and then there's a little estuary in the center. Most fine wines don't come from there, although there are nice wines do exist from there. Left bank, more sandy, gravel soil. The Dutch are the ones who helped actually drain that estuary to where we can make wine today. But what's more rare about this wine is that it's a 4 varietal blend in your high-end cab or your high-end Bordeaux. So most are 2 varietal blends of Cabernet Sauvignon dominant, and then Merlot is the secondary grape. This fits that trend, being 60% Cabernet Sauvignon, 20% Merlot, but it also has 18% Cabernet Franc and 2% Petit Verdot. So with those higher end grapes in there being Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, this generally raises the alcohol content to 14%, as there's more residual sugar in these grapes, leaving for it to have that potential higher alcohol content. Most high end Bordeaux sit between 13.5 to 14, this being on that higher end.
Okay.
And then when you go back into the history of this vineyard, quite frankly, this outdates most lineages of everyone who could view this channel. The winery dates back to the 12th century.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So this is a medieval chateau that owned most of the land in Bordeaux
Wow.
and would have since sold that land to other vineyards.
Mhm.
All 5 of the first growth wineries in Bordeaux can date back to being owned under the Segur family.
Mhm.
But the more significant thing here is in 1855, there is this event under Napoleon Bonaparte, as he was the ruler of France, or emperor of France, really, known as the 1855 classification of Bordeaux. This literally ranked every chateau in Bordeaux, France, and they gave them growths. First growth, second growth, third growth, and then everything else. This is among the 30 wines that made it into the growth category and sits as the second wine in the third growth category. So, for over almost 200 years now, you could say this has been a top 30 wine in Bordeaux, as it has not lost that ranking.
That's
Consistent.
Cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
So, it's got a long lineage. storied history, and drinks stupid well.
Yeah, that's what gets me. I could sit here.
Yeah,
and I can't wait for the steaks.
you can't mistake. Even as I pull it, I can see the sediment in the bottom of the glass here. Now, Zach was talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
As you come back and see the meniscus on the top ring of this, or still just holding like cherry red at the top and nice and thick at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
It definitely drinks like a high end wine. It definitely it's best paired with a really good meal.
I'm so looking forward to the steaks.
Sitting down. This needs time. Even as we've been sitting here, it just keeps opening up.
Yep.
It's really this isn't cheap.
You give
this
it,
is
nose
good.
it again. Just you wait 5 minutes, nose it again. Wait.
Yeah, this comes on the coin. So I'm a whiskey guy. Zach's an everything guy. You're an everything kind of guy. This just for me, this is a really nice treat. This is awesome. This is something that I'm proud to have had an opportunity to sit. This is awesome.
Outstanding.
Just means we're gonna have to buy the Chateau Latour I have at my store.
Oh, there we go. So, any final notes?
It's good. It's freaking good.
It's phenomenal. If you are ever in the financial situation that you feel you can afford this, buy it. It is not a must-have, but it is a shit you really should. If it's in a restaurant and you can
If you can
buy
get
a
if you
glass,
can get a bite of the glass,
hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I would definitely.
They probably won't let you. They'll make you buy the bottle at $600.
Yeah, I can't-
Yeah.
But fuck, if you could splurge,
Yeah.
baby.
I mean, go with a party of four. Everyone say, yeah, let's spend $150 and get the damn bottle.
Yeah, if you want a nice, you can't go wrong with it. I think it pairs excellent with this steak. That's what we're doing. Get some steak. We're gonna buy steak just to go with this wine.
Yeah, actually, it's on the way.
It just deserves it. And if you are in that position, that's the way to put it together, I think.
I agree. All right, so that is the Calon Segur 2016 Bordeaux, which got an 82 from us, and I think it was great. It was worth it. And so whatever you're drinking, I hope you enjoy. Cheers.
Cheers.
Word.